Good evening, disturbed people of the interwebs. I'm Alexa, the resident ooky spooky girly around here that isn't, an AI. And today's research left me with a healthy dose of pure yikes. Am I someone who uses Siri on occasion to set a timer? Sure. Do I have a lifelong vendetta against Amazon for naming their stupid gizmo Alexa? Also yes. Look, every other major AI unit has a much less common goofy name or another, but Amazon had to use Alexa instead of Echo to humanize their thing more, and I'm forever ticked. The amount of times someone has tried to be funny and asked me a version of, "What's the weather?" or "Play Despacito?" are way too many at this point. And I have some very rehearsed answers that I can't say on here. All joking aside, AI terrifies me as a whole. Like, I don't want chatbots anywhere near my phone ever. Question for y'all. Have you ever used ChatGPT or similar? Let me know, I'd love to see where we all stand on that. Otherwise, welcome to the top 5 disturbing predictions from AI that could end the world. In 5th place, we have an onslaught of natural disasters. Alrighty, so time for some context, since not all of today's predictions are coming from the same AI source, and also I like to make sure I'm as crystal clear as possible with all of y'all out there. The Daily Star asked popular AI language model, ChatGPT, to write its own prophecies with the help of legendary French astrologer Nostradamus, and proceeded to publish the text conversation between the AI and Nostradamus, which resulted in 7 new predictions over the next 100 years. So Nostradamus was famous for his predictions made in the 1500s, which some believe foretold modern events, such as the rise of Adolf with the last name this platform doesn't like, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, and the September 11 attacks, in addition to thousands of predictions that he published in his book, Les Prophéties, 467 years ago, to be exact. Oh, and before I forget, the definition of natural disaster is a disaster with links to natural hazards that can cause loss of life or damaged property, and typically leaves economic damage in its wake. The severity of the damage depends on the affected population's resilience and on the infrastructure available. Examples of natural hazards include avalanche, coastal flooding, cold wave, earthquake, hail, heat wave, hurricane, ice storm, landslide, lightning, riverine flooding, strong wind, tornado, typhoon, tsunami, volcanic activity, wildfire, and winter weather, just to name a few. A disaster is a result of a natural or human-made hazard impacting a vulnerable community, and in modern times the difference between natural, human-made, and human-accelerated disasters is a whole lot of messy gray area. Human choices and activities like architecture, fire, resource management, and climate change can play a role in causing natural disasters. Now, if that sounds super heckin' convoluted, it's because it very much is. And many brainy scholars have been saying that the term natural disaster is unsuitable and should be abandoned. Oh, right. The prediction. Pardon me, I got sidetracked. Humanity's fight against climate change may reach its peak in less than 30 years, as the AI Nostradamus warns that 2050 may be a year plagued by natural disasters that terrorize people all over the world. The prediction says, in 2050 there will be a storm, while climate change will wreak havoc again, there will be fires, floods, and hurricanes. Nature will unleash a terrible surprise. Man must scramble to find a way to fix the earth before he goes astray, but greed and indifference will take their toll, a stark reminder of the role of humanity. Well, that feels pretty biblical. After everything humanity has gone through in the last few years, I'm hoping this winds up being a whole lot of bunk. We've gone through enough major crap for a generation. Thanks! In 4th place, we have the AI revolution. This is the other listing on this list that came from Nostradamus and ChatGPT, and this is where I admit I'm not any kind of AI overall expert. The AI warned that humans might fall into fear and anxiety of the artificial intelligence revolution in 2060. The prediction says, in 2060, robots and machines will develop, it will be a vibrant revolution, industries must be reshaped all over the world, but fear and anxiety will also loom as jobs and futures are lost. A person must adapt to learn again, to coexist with and penetrate technology. Well, that's just terrifying. Learn to coexist with? I have a feeling it's not talking about simply introducing grandparents to how a smartphone works. Before today, all I knew about ChatGPT was the occasional meme, and I had a friend once ask me if I, used it to write these videos, which I was horrified could even be a reality. I promise you all, my words here and always will be my own. Yes, I'm the kind of gal who says stuff like cripes and euchred on a regular basis. Now you might be asking, okay Alexa, that's cute and all, but how is it relevant? Well, has anyone seen iRobot? Or heck, done any research on ChatGPT? For the folks like me who had no idea on what the heck the basis of ChatGPT was until now, allow me to share what I've learned today. ChatGPT, which is short for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer, was developed by OpenAI and launched on November 30th of 2022. The goal is to enable users to refine and steer a conversation towards a desired length, format, style, level of detail, and language used. Successive prompts and replies are taken into account at each stage of the conversation as a context. By January of this year, it had become the fastest growing consumer software application in history, getting over 100 million users. Within months, Google, Baidu, and Meta accelerated the development of their competing projects, Palm E, ErnieBot, and Llama, to be specific. Now, some folks have expressed concern over the potential of ChatGPT to displace or atrophy human intelligence, and I'm on that team for sure. Going back to mentioning iRobot, because I sure as heck wasn't going to leave that as a statement without a follow-up, if that movie taught me anything other than, just how underrated Alan Tudyk is as a performer, it's that over-reliance and giving too much agency to AI and technology will only cause a cluster mess of epic proportions. In third place, we have an alien invasion. DALL-E is a machine learning model that was created by OpenAI to conjure up unusual images from keyword prompts. Created in 2021, so ergo before ChatGPT, it is known as a transformer language model that can turn almost any idea into images. Not gonna lie, whenever I say transformer, I do giggle a little bit because I can't help but think about the dang toy and movie franchise. Now, this AI was named after WALL-E, and while I love a good Disney and Pixar reference, that doesn't make any of this less scary to me. When asked what extraterrestrials would look like if they visited planet Earth, the AI produced several concept images. One depicted an eerie, robot-like figure standing in a desert with flying saucers above. Another image showed two humans wearing jeans and jumpers having their heads zapped off by a UFO. And if that wasn't disturbing enough, the creepy AI also conjured a strange naked silver figure running through a field towards a flying saucer. Now here's the thing. Do I believe in aliens? Before I started doing research on them all the time, I might have said no, but now I very much do. I think they're genuinely out there, watching us humans from a distance, occasionally popping their heads down and visiting. Am I afraid of them? 90% of the time my answer to that is no, but after seeing those depictions, it's a little more worrisome. Before someone comments about discrepancies between alien tales over the years, I'd like to state that I firmly believe that visitors coming from different planets and solar systems probably all just look different. And so do humans. In second place, AI is gonna take over the world. The TikTok account Robot Overlords claims to have asked AI how it's gonna take over the world. Because sure, that's not gonna produce any kind of nightmares whatsoever. The TikToker hasn't clearly stated which AI is being used to generate the images, but they do use the hashtag DALL-E2. So I'm assuming it's the same bot I just talked about with the aliens. Great, I'm gonna keep shivering from fear until I go to sleep at this rate. The images revealed in the short video show masses of scary machines. Some of the imagined robots are shown towering over humans. One scene even looks like some last remaining humans moving through a robot city. The TikTok video has over 43,000 likes, but some viewers were more pleased than others. One TikTok user wrote, "Don't put that in their heads." Another joked, "Just spray some water on it." And while joking about gremlins are funny, I repeat, has no one watched iRobot or heard of Superbia? Okay, that last one might be a niche reference, I'll admit it, but there are plenty of examples out in the world as to why we should not rely on tech to the point of dependence. And in our first place, we have AI predicting political stance from photographs. Yep, you heard me correctly. Unlike all the other spots in today's list, this was actually a full, in-depth study that almost had me spit out my water when I first read it. An honest-to-goodness study in Denmark found that artificial intelligence algorithms can help predict a person's political ideology based on their facial characteristics. The tech found right-wing politicians were more likely to have happy facial expressions in photos, while people pictured with neutral facial expressions were more likely to identify as left-wing. It used deep learning to predict ideology from facial photographs using expressions, beauty, and extra facial information, and found that AI can predict a person's political ideology with 61% accuracy when analyzing a photo of a person. That may not sound like a lot when the usual guess is 50%, but that's a big extra 11%. Deep learning, a method in AI where computer scientists teach computers to learn and process information similar to humans, can be used to make predictions about people based on photographs alone, which is what the researchers explained in their very fancy paper on this. The scientists tried to pin down exactly what information contributes to the predictive success of these techniques. According to the researchers, humans as a whole are able to read another person's face and make judgments almost immediately about personality, intelligence, and even political ideologies, so I guess they guess, why can't robots do the same thing? Intelligence and even political ideologies, so I guess they guess, why can't robots do the same thing? Yeah, that doesn't sit well with me. Study author Stig Rasmussen of Aarhus University and his colleagues explored, if computational neural networks, which are algorithms that mimic the structure and function of human brains, can predict a person's political ideology based on a single photo alone. The scientists trained the neural network with thousands of photos of politicians from the nation's 2017 municipal elections, noting the elections were not highly polarized nor competitive. They did away with any photos of candidates who were not explicitly left or right-wing, were not of European ethnic origin, or had been photographed with a beard. To make the playing field as leveled as possible, the photos only depicted the facial features of the candidates, not photos with backgrounds that could alter predictions. The researchers were left with 4,647 photos of political candidates, 1,442 of which depicted female politicians. The researchers used facial expression recognition technology from Microsoft to measure the emotional state seen in the photos, as well as other algorithms to determine attractiveness and even masculinity of the candidates. They also used a handful of photos of Danish politicians to test the algorithm's accuracy accuracy. All in all, the research found that the AI trained on the data could accurately predict ideology to the tune of 61%, showing the algorithms could predict political affiliation better than pure chance. They wrote that the results confirmed the threat to privacy posed by deep learning approaches, and no kidding! The research found female politicians who were more attractive were more likely conservative, while attractiveness and masculinity for men was not tied to political ideology. Faces of both men and women who appeared happier were also more likely to be right-wing, while neutral facial expressions meant the politicians were more likely members of the left-wing parties. The study added that, though it was more rare, women who showed contempt on their faces were more likely left-leaning. Honestly, while I'd love to see that expanded in theory, the thoughts of how this could be used for awful things in profiling terrify me. Someone somewhere would totally use this to discriminate in some sort of hiring situation, and that just does not sit well at all with me. And that brings us to the end of our time, and I'm hoping these are the top 5 predictions that never come true or get further developed, even though I'm sure they will, which I'm very much not a fan of. I'll stick with not knowing the future, thanks. And besides, it can always change at a moment's notice, no matter what the fates say. If you enjoyed my venting, feel free to leave this video a little like, subscribe, and why not also hit the bell for more chaos from us here at Top 5 Scary Videos, and I'll see y'all next time, you lovely spooky people.